As we commemorate 75 years of dedication and craftsmanship, join us in a journey through time. This is a celebration of Barnhill's legacy.
This group started sometime around 1980. We got an outlier like Dad who started in the 60s when he was 10. But between you, you have over 300 years of service with the company. Describe the foundation of the company and how you guys took that, evolved it, and did what you did.
I made two really good decisions. One was marrying Donna, and the other one was going to work for Barnhill Contracting Company. And when I first came to work with Barnhill Contracting Company, I was hired to be the safety director. It wasn't long that Bob said, "You need to be a personnel manager too." So he gave me personnel, and then about 6 months later, he said, "I think you need to be the equipment manager too."
When I made him equipment manager, that was so I didn't have to be equipment manager.
So anyway, that's kind of how I got started with the company, and I was given one opportunity after the other with the growth of the company. And I always thought that we had the best of both worlds during those times. We had Bob's daddy, who was like the foundation. He taught us the nuts and bolts. Bob was a visionary. He was always thinking ahead how the corporation could be managed and how it could be managed for growth.
We have so many people who started out on a shovel and wound up being an area manager or a division manager. And that's a story that I'm proud to tell, and I think we should be proud to tell.
I started out in the field as a laborer. When I started, the guy they teamed me up with called me a no-good, long-haired motorcycle riding hippie. But he was a very good teacher, mentor. His name was Lacey Woods, and he taught me how to check grade, run equipment, just everything, and I worked through. And eventually I became a foreman, and I eventually moved into the office working under William Davis. And it's allowed me to grow. I work with this whole crowd. It's been fun, it's been exciting. It's been a lot of hard work, but it's been very rewarding.
We challenge one another, a lot. Bob did, he challenged all of us, more times than one, I'd bring an idea up to Bob. He said, "You think you can do that?" I said, "Well, I think so, yeah." He said, "Okay, give it a shot then."
Most of you had a pretty good portion of your career that you worked with B1, my grandfather, and then you had a pretty good amount of your career that you worked with Dad. Describe the differences.
The funny thing, working between Bob and his dad, Mr. Barnhill loved equipment, and he'd say, "Lee, get some prices, we're gonna buy, this kind of equipment." And so he wouldn't have said a word to Bob. So I'd go back there to Bob's office. I said, "Bob, your daddy tells me to get some prices on this equipment we're gonna buy." He said, "We ain't gonna do that, Lee. We ain't gonna do that." So finally we'd go back and forth, and we would get on the same page. But I think to me, the thing that really was the growth of our company, and when Bob organized our company in divisions, each division was like a little company, and the growth of our company just took off.
Let's talk a little bit about the genesis of the building division. When did it start? How did it start?
Well, it started in 1977, and that was right when we were coming back from the coal mining world. So I went in and talked to Dad, and I said, "We can go into this business for less than we can buy a 150 loader for." And I kind of made my spiel, and he said, "Okay, we'll try it." So we did, and we started it in Tarboro. We were going to hire people working in the building division. They were more than likely going to be in Raleigh, and most of the work was in Raleigh. So we opened up a subdivision of the building division in Raleigh, hired Kyle Cave, and moved that division to Raleigh. And then we eventually said, okay, we're moving everybody to Raleigh, and just kept growing, and then unfortunately lost Kyle to stomach cancer. Marty was been with the division for a number of years and showing a lot of promise, so we made him the president of the building division, and that's where we are today.
So we're actually at a place in time where most of the people working with us right now don't have much context for the way we used to bid highway work in Raleigh. Speak a little bit to those days and who misses it and who is glad we are done with it.
I think we all miss it. You know, we went to the highway letting. First thing we did is took all the beds and stood them up against the wall.
Stack them up.
Stacked them up, because we weren't going to sleep.
No.
And then we got tables and chairs brought in, and we went to work. But it was really a team effort, because you'd stay up all night and you're putting those numbers together early in the morning. You hadn't had any sleep. And hopefully there was coffee in the room, but
And a lot of cigarette smoke.
yeah, a lot of cigarette smoke, you're right. And then you try and add all that stuff up and get a total in, and then away you go flying down the hall and to the car in the chase car.
Looking back over your life, career, any regrets?
I wouldn't change a thing. It's just been a dream come true.
I guess my only regret is that Bob didn't call 25 years earlier. Yeah, I mean, it changed my life and my family's life.
I don't think any of us could have found a better place to have a career and work for the number of years that we worked here. It was all done where we could be successful, and we helped make this company successful, and that's what it's all about.
We worked hard.
We did.
We put in a lot of hours, and we expected a lot, but we gave a lot in return. But God, we played hard too.
We did.
When it was time to play, we played, and those stories don't need to be told.
Talk a little bit about values. What of the core values that you all grew up with, what do you see continuing forward?
Several years ago, we went through a process focused on taking the values that have made us successful and that we all inherently knew and put them on paper. And so that hopefully these values will be the values that take the company into the next 25 years. And we, Rob, have all worked hard on that, and I think if we can keep those core values, we'll be successful. When I think back over the last 75 years of Barnhill, the thing I am most proud of is our people.
In the 20 or so years I've been with Barnhill, I've seen a lot of employees go from that project engineer to leading large projects, and watching them kind of bringing up the new generations coming through and showing them how to do things and do it well. It's been fun to be a part of.
For our business partners and clients, we're very appreciative for them working with us throughout the years. They've all been great partnerships where we've depended on one another. At the end of the day, it's a real tribute to all the employees in the history of the company that we've made it this far, because we didn't build the successors at every position, they did. And so getting this far is a real tribute to them. Cheers to 75 years.
Cheers.
Cheers.
From 75 years of building legacies to embracing the future, Barnhill paves the way for a new era.
Barnhill's been successful for 75 years now because we know our core values. It started with B1, carried on with B2, and now B3. And what this company was built on, the foundational values, is the reason the company is still in business today.
Being a part of Barnhill and the impact they have on the community, it gives me so much pride. If somebody says, you know, where do you work? I'm happy to say Barnhill.
For me, Barnhill is a special place because my dad has worked here coming up on 54 years. So that's kind of what makes it special for me, because it is family.
I enjoy working at Barnhill. They give me all the tools I need to do the job that I need to do. And I grew up playing in the dirt with bulldozers and tractors, and I'm still doing that today. I love what I do. I get to wake up every morning and come to work and do what I love to do.
The bond that my coworkers and I have developed has been worth more than gold. It's unbelievable the way people stick together here. I told you I was going to cry,
I'm excited for the future of Barnhill because I can't wait to see what it holds. What I see currently, the sky's the limit for Barnhill.
You know, my father worked with Barnhill Contracting Company, and you know, I was drug out on job sites as a kid. Being a second generation Barnhill employee, it's a very big deal to make it 75 years as a privately owned company, and I'm looking forward to the 100-year anniversary.